you have been an entrepreneur pretty much your entire life, and you and I have lived very similar paths.
Mm-hmm.
When we were growing up in the 80s, 90s, do you think it was harder or easier for young men to make money back then, and why?
I don't think it's ever been easier than it is today because there's so much money traveling around the internet. All you have to do is reach out and grab some by providing value.
Yeah.
You can run a business location independent from pretty much anywhere in the world, charge, some kind of subscription revenue. So you've got recurring money coming in every single month. Stay away from physical products because they can complicate your life unnecessarily. So you can offer an information product or a service unit, for example. It's much easier to run a business today. Like I remember when I was a kid, my dad entertained a few businesses, from time to time. And the last one that he looked at was buying a fish and chip shop, right? And it was like small margins, made a few $100,000 a year after expenses. You basically were paying to employ yourself at a average, wage, sort of stuff. So by all measures today, I believe it's much easier than it was when we were kids to start a business and make some serious money.
Yeah, I mean, Josh is a fantastic example of that. Josh, how old are you right now?
21.
You're 21. Do you want to tell Rich just very, very briefly your backstory and how we met? I think he would enjoy hearing that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so I was in high school and I had a business all throughout that, but during COVID, it got shut down.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, I don't know what the hell to do. I should at least start reading some books or something because I kind of like this business thing. Mm-hmm. And so you stumble upon like Rich Dad, Poor Dad and all those things. And I fell in love with macroeconomics.
Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't go to school my senior year. Instead, I just was studying macro all day. And I was reaching out to probably a dozen people a week saying, hey, I'll work for you for free. And that wasn't working. So I said, I'll pay you. I have $20,000 saved up. I'll pay you everything I have. And that wasn't really working. So then I said, I'll pay you 10% of whatever I make for the next decade after working for you if I can just learn something.
Right.
That didn't work. And so George was having a meetup in Arizona. And at that point,
you started following my channel when you were doing.
Oh yeah, I watched every single video. I would write down every single word that you would say in your whiteboard videos, or if you talk to like Jeff Snyder or something, because I was like, I don't know what the hell you're saying, but if I can figure this out, then I'd at least have a better idea of what I want to do. And so he was having a meetup in Arizona, and I was in Boston. And to that point, I'd never been on a plane before, so I got his logo tattooed on my leg, and I flew from Boston to Arizona. With the Rebel Capitalist tattoo.
Wow, and that's a raving fan. I mean, I could see why you'd hire this kid. He's got your logo tattooed on his body.
That's
incredible.
The moral of the story is you have a young person here that literally has said yes to every single potential opportunity that has come his way, no matter how extreme. I mean,
man.
Yeah, I told Josh, come out to Phoenix. You don't know what you're doing. I'm going to put you up at a crack hotel. You don't know what I'm going to pay you. And it's just yes, yes, yes. And he's maintained that mentality to the point now where he's running in circles with guys like Kenny McElroy, with Robert Kiyosaki, with all of Kenny's, these guys that are worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Those are the types of people that are now in Josh's network. And it's all a result of a young person just being incredibly ambitious and just going out and taking the bull by the horns and then leveraging the skill set that he has acquired on utilizing the internet.
Yeah, that's amazing because I mean, most kids would not get to that point. They're just happy, playing video games and smoking weed and not doing much, in their spare time when they're not working. So that's a fantastic success story, man.
Yeah, and it goes to show you the opportunities that exist today for young people that didn't exist when you and I were a kid. Yeah. Like no matter how ambitious we were, Rich, there is no way at 21 years old we would have been able to finagle our way into Kenny McElroy's network or Robert Kiyosaki's network.
Yeah, like one of the things that I've noticed a lot, and I get a lot of DMs like this or emails, is like, hey, I've watched this, that, and the other thing, and I'd love to pick your brain, right? And it's like, when you hear that as a guy in my position, all I'm hearing is you want to steal my time and basically pick my pocket. But the way that Josh sort of, hit you from his angle, it's like he found his own way out there to see you at a meetup with a tattoo of your logo on his body. Of course he's going to get your attention. Of course, of course you're going to look at this guy a little bit differently, right? And think to yourself, yeah, I think I might give this guy some of my time.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's always do you ever watch that movie Yes Man with Jim Carrey?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Basically, the premise of the movie is he just goes like 2 weeks or a month or whatever and just says yes to everything, literally everything, and how it just completely changes his life.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Josh has done. And I think that's one reason to look at the glass half full for young men, is if they have that level of ambition, you have vastly more opportunity on that side of the coin, even if the other side of the coin. So I think what we're saying here is it's never been easier for a young man to rapidly get into the 1%. Never been easier. But there's going to be fewer and fewer women for the men that are still in the 99%.
Yeah.
So you've got a smaller pool of men dating a larger percentage of women, but the upside is that it's never been easier for a young person to get into that small group of guys that's going to end up winning this whole thing.
It shows up in the dating stats too. There was a survey done, I think it was in the last couple of years, and something like 2/3 of women are indicating that they're in a relationship. But only 1/3 of men are indicating that they're in a relationship. So the vast majority of guys are suggesting that they're basically sexless and not dealing with women. But the vast majority of women are suggesting that they're dealing with men and being intimate, which leads us to believe that they're sharing men that are on the top shelf.
Yeah, and I can tell you so many stories, not just from my life, but from other successful guys that I've hung around, athletes in particular, that this whether we like it or not, that's just the way the world works.
That's what women respond to, and the burden of performance has always been on the shoulder of men. We have to make something out of ourselves. I really hope you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full-length podcast, you can find that over here, that clip's from. If you're newer to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe over here, and pin down below in the top comment, you'll find a bunch of useful links to my website, my supplement line, books, and a bunch of other stuff. Have an amazing day. Peace out.